All right, it's about to go down today. Here we go. Today we have an epic quadruple base. That's right, 4 bourbons going head to head based off my review of the new Jim Beam Black 7-year. This little bottle that started it all. These 3 bourbons were the top voted bottles to go against the new Beam 7. That include Baker 7 7-year single barrel, the Knob Creek 9-year small batch, and the Evan Williams 1783. I cannot wait to see who wins this one for me. Come right back. It's the Mash and Drum. What's up, folks? I'm Jason C, and welcome back to the Mash and Drum. Like, subscribe, and help me get to 100,000 subscribers for 2024. Help me hit that milestone. Appreciate the support as always. If you guys have any suggestions for some head-to-head matchups, leave them below in the comments. I've been getting a lot of great suggestions that I have lined up for some upcoming double bass, triple bass, quadruple bass episodes. As I mentioned, YouTube is really looking for some engagement in the comment section, so leave a comment below, leave a suggestion below, or just, I don't know, tell me how you're feeling today. So I'm not gonna go through each history of the bottle since we have 4 options, and I just wanna dive in here to the tasting, but I will give you the stats. So first is the Knob Creek 9-year small batch. It's bottled at 100 proof, features a 9-year age statement, it's distilled by Jim Beam, and it's priced at $34.99. Next, we have Baker Single Barrel 7-year bourbon, also distilled by Jim Beam, at least 7 years old, sometimes 8 or 9 years old, depending on what your neck tag says. This is bottled at 107 proof, and it's priced at about $69.99. The third contender is Evan Williams 1783 small batch, which is distilled by Heaven Hill. It's bottled at 90 proof. It's non-age stated, but supposedly a 6 to 8 year product in the bottle. Price for this one for a 750 milliliter is about 23 bucks. Lastly is the bottle that started this whole video. It's the new Jim Beam Black 7-year label. It's bottled at 90 proof now, and it's priced at $26.99. All right, so for those of you that have not watched one of my double bass, triple bass, in this case, quadruple bass episodes, essentially I try each one of these bourbons and I rate it on nose, palate, and finish, and the glass with the most point wins. Now, since we have 4 glasses here, if we hit a situation where 3 of the glasses have 1 point each and I need a tiebreaker, that's gonna come down to price. All right, here we go, this should be good. Let's go with nose first and we'll see who wins out. Glass number 1, I would say, is a little bit more vanilla caramel than peanut, peanut funk or peanut goodness, whatever you want to call it. Very sweet. I like that nose. Let's go to number 2. Second glass, I get the peanut. I definitely get some peanut funk here. It is darker though than the first one, which I like. There's a little bit more of a, I don't know, a little bit more like a baking spice thing happening here. A little bit more oak presence. Slightest hint of like dark fruit here, but not a huge amount of it. I think I like that over 1. Let's go to 3. 3 also has a dark nose. It's very similar to number 2. Number 2, while darker than number 1, there was also, I did get some like vanilla corn sweetness in it. Number 3, I don't think I'm getting really any of that. Getting some nice deep rich flavors here. Again, caramel, and definitely some spice, some baking spice heavy there. I don't know, 2 and 3 are close. Let's go to 4. 4 is taking me back a little bit more towards 1, where it's a little bit sweeter. Definitely some oak here too. Man, these noses are, they are minutely different here. God, 1 is giving me now very, very bright fruit, like almost like strawberry vibes on number 1. Man, 2 has like this dark, like brown sugar, sweet tea note that's coming through now. Caramel, brown sugar. I like 2 a lot. Let's go to 3. 3 might have the most well-rounded nose, I think. 3 has a little bit of everything. It's dark, it's rich, has some baking spice here. And I think 4 is actually closer to 3 now that I go back to it. And I think 3, I don't think it's has much depth as 3. So the nose, I'm gonna give to glass number 3. So 3 for the win. Let's go to palate. All right, first glass, cheers, here we go. One, the palate matches the nose. It's very bright, very sweet, a lot of vanilla, good texture, a huge punch of bright, like sweet fruit here. I think I'm getting strawberry here. Nice little spice in the back end. That's good. One more sip here. Yeah, second sip is more of the same. I really like the flavors in number one here. Just a lot of great spice, a good punch of vanilla and oak in the front, this little like burst of kind of a strawberry type aspect to it right in the mid palate. Really dig one a lot. All right, let's go to two. Just like the nose before, two is darker and richer than one. I like the mouthfeel on number two a little bit better. However, number two doesn't really have that big burst of bright fruit that I was getting in number one, which may take it down a notch for me a little bit. However, I do like how much darker it is, more brown sugar. Definitely a lot of peanut here, so I'm betting this is one of the beams. I mean, it's a 3 out of 4 guess, but. Number two also has a better texture on the palate than number one does. One is a lot thinner to me than two is. So two, and the more I sip two, man, I'm really digging two a lot. Two's getting better. It's starting to turn into like this creamy peanut butter and jelly type thing going on. One had me with the strawberry, but now two I think has got me with just the texture of it. It's really nice. All right, let's go to three. 3-1 for me on the nose. Let's see what it does on the palate. Oh man. 3 has all the things. 3 is probably, oh man, compared to the other two, 3 is the richest, it's the darkest, it's the densest. Out of the 3 so far, I gotta go to 4. Because 4 and 3, I feel like we're really close on nose. Man, this is, you know what I gotta say though, 2 and 3 have similar textures on the palate. I think 3's is a little better, but 2 is not that far off. So number 3 for me could be winning on palate so far right now compared to the other two. All right, 4, like I said, was pretty close to number 3 on nose. 4 is man, compared to the other 3, let me take one more sip here. So 4 is very good, but 4 is coming off more of just a really good classic type of whiskey. Good classic type of bourbon flavors, vanillas, caramels, oak. There's not much else on top of that. However, it's got great spice. I don't think the texture is as good as 2 or 3, at least on the palate. I think any of these 3, I'd be happy to sip any day of the week. But for me, number 3, again, is gonna take it on the palate. So really there's no way 1, 2, or 4 can come back because 3 has taken 2 categories here. They've taken nose and palate. Finish would probably go to number 3 too. From what I remember just sipping right now, this has the longest finish. Man, if I had to rate these what I like more, I'll probably go, so number 4 is my last place pour, so let's see what we got. Wow, well, not surprising actually. This is the Knob Creek 9-year. Knob Creek 9-year. And here's the thing about Knob Creek 9-year. Not only is it a great price point, but it is also probably one of the most classic bourbon flavors you can get. I think the obviously the price for this one is great, about 35 bucks. So Knob Creek 9-year will always be kind of a staple in my bar and a lot of other folks. I just think the other 3 have something a little bit more going on. Third place, I would probably give to number 1, which is, oh, okay. Number 1 goes to the 1783 Evan Williams, which means it's down to the Bakers and the new Jim Beam 7. There's no way this number 2 can be Bakers. I think the winning dram is Bakers here just because of how rich it is and the finish. I don't remember getting those flavors. And yes, so to the Jim Beam Black Label 7. Now here's the thing about these two. The Jim Beam Black Label 7-year, this, since I've reviewed it, has gone more peanut butter, a little bit more peanut butter and jelly here happening now with the Baker 7. But I think it actually has a better texture than the Evan Williams does. However, the Evan Williams has a nice pop of strawberry that I was getting, at least in this blind tasting. And the winning bottle here is the Baker 7. I felt like Baker 7 could come out on top. I haven't had this particular single barrel in a while, and again, this Baker's is the only single barrel here that's on, you know, the table. Everything else is a small batch or batch product. So these will vary. However, this single barrel in particular kind of took out the rest of the field. But Baker's taking it for me. 7-year, the new 7-year Black Label getting second place. Evan Williams 1783 getting third, and Knob Creek 9-year, surprisingly, because I just think there was more interesting things going on in these three, takes fourth place. All right, guys, well, you asked for it. We did it today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the subscribe button below. Please hit the like button. And if you haven't yet, find me on Instagram. Let me know what you thought of the results. If once you get your hands on maybe this bottle or any other ones, if you're going to try this at home. And if you do happen to try this blind at home, please make sure you leave a comment below. Let me know your results. And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey. It's the people you share it with. So before we go, as we always do, we're going to blend them. And we're going to call this... we'll call it Evan Beam's Backyard Blend. I don't know. Evan Beam's Backyard Blend, all 4 of these. Let's see how we do here. Well, the nose is pretty nice. That's actually a really solid blend. I think all 4 of these work well together. I'm actually tasting the strawberry I was getting from the 1783 in here, but a lot of the oak from the other 3. That's a solid blend. If you have all 4, do the blind, try the blend. See you next time right here on The Mash and Drum.